So it's my name, who I am, what my company is.
Yeah. Whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be. You could be a princess if you want.
All right. Hi, I'm Karl, and I'm from the build agency.
Snap. There we go. We got there.
Welcome to the Cherrywood podcast with me, the lovely Rachel Burridge.
That's my name. I thought you were going to do it normally. And Simon Burridge.
Right, welcome, Karl. All 6'9" of you.
Yeah, is that
I'm
high
6 foot. He's look, I know we're sitting down, so he might have short legs for all I know, but he hasn't.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
And he nearly hit his head about 4 times before we even started, so that's good. You must bang your head a lot, actually.
I actually don't. I think because I'm tall, I don't.
You're aware of it.
Yeah, the only time it happens is if I'm walking backwards.
Yeah.
Or I'm slightly intoxicated.
What about a skinhead? You ever had a skinhead?
Yeah, I have.
And that does it, doesn't it? You don't realise how much your hair gives you the warning.
So what it is old pubs. Classic one, low beans.
Yeah.
And we went to the Cotswold one. That's the only time that I've like properly concussed myself as in the Cotswolds.
Really?
Yeah, there was a step up from out of the bar, so I was also bollock naked and stood up and smashed my head on the top of the thing, cut it open, and I had to go to hospital. Yeah.
So why was you naked?
I came out of the shower.
Oh, right, I thought you was in a pub in the Cotswolds.
No, I was in
a stag do or something.
No, yeah.
Bollock naked, just
randomly
get
that's what I do on the weekends. Yeah. No, that's what, yeah. No.
Right, before we start, how long on the sign?
I'm going to go, after seeing the back of it, I'm going to go lower and say like 10.
That's not bad. No. That's not bad.
So I thought it was going to be lower. Oh, jeez.
Mate, it stayed up the whole podcast a couple of times.
I'm going to go 10. I'm going to stick with it.
10. Right, then we go to our sponsors. When we come back,
that's going to properly scare me, that is. Am I swear, by the way? Am I swear?
Yeah, you can swear.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So God,
we had Mark White on here the other day. That boy knows how to swear, right?
So do I.
But he brings out the worst in me. That's the problem.
Yeah, mimicking.
But that's all right. Rach, come this way a little bit because you're off screen as usual, even though it's like our 100th podcast. Still doesn't get it. Anyway, so we go to sponsors and then 10 minutes. We've lost a minute already just talking about it. Let me push it again for you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
There we go.
That was pathetic, by the way.
He put it up 3 minutes before I got
now we're going to go to sponsors.
Today's sponsors are Dimodici Associates, Chartered Structural and Civil Engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on dimodiciassociates.com.
Bond Carpentry, where precision meets creativity.
From bespoke cupboards to second fix carpentry, garden houses, and even the Cherrywood podcast sign. Call 07738 732 931.
Bond Carpentry, licensed to drill.
This podcast has been brought to you by Snugdubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk.
And we're back. There we go. Thank you, sponsors. What was your favourite sponsor, Mark?
Mark
White.
I'm going again. Just start swearing once.
Oh, we won't go again. I promise everyone that I don't edit this. So.
I actually get called Mark a weird amount of times.
You do look like Mark. You do look like
Karl
Mark.
And Mark. So it's 4 letters, got a K in it.
Yeah.
We go Mark with a K.
Yeah. No, you do look like a Mark, but I think it's because I mentioned Mark.
That's right. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Right,
I'll call anything.
Tell us about yourself, mate. I know a little bit about you, obviously.
So tell us about your company first and what you do first.
That's what I'm on about.
So, I was going to say I'm 6'9", size 14 feet. That's normally the normal spiel.
Is the myth true?
Size 14.
Rachel wants to know.
Size 14, yeah.
Rachel wants to know.
I've also got Doc Martens. You can't see, but I've got Doc Martens on, which gives me an extra inch.
Shame your wife ain't here. If she comes in walking like Texas Pete, we know the myth is true.
She's a mate do cowboy. So I'm Karl. I'm one of the co-founders of the Build Agency. We're a digital marketing agency that specialises in construction, so helping the guys that generally hate marketing getting more tenders, being more active on social media, and just sort of trying to bring them in the 21st century. A lot of the time, a lot of the guys, they've done all of their work through word of mouth, and now they're trying to come up with the times, and they just don't know how to. They're better on their hands. Same as I can't hang a shelf. They can hang a shelf. It's just everyone's got different skill sets, and we try and fit into that little missing part of their business. So we become sort of like their external marketing department. It's kind of how we fit in. So we're a small team. There's only 5 of us in the team, but we've been doing it.
So you've done nothing wrong. I can just hear you breathing a bit more.
So I'm going to go like
got
a bit of a cold.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We've We've been going since January, so we're quite fresh. I've worked in marketing most of my life and marketing events. Come from a nightclubs and an events background. So when I was 18, I went straight into nightclubs.
Did you bouncing?
No, I was events. So doing the yeah. So I worked in some of the clubs in Maidstone.
You just assumed because he was this tall.
Yeah,
that he was a bouncer.
I did get asked a lot if I wanted to be a bouncer.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, I'd much prefer drinking.
Did you rugby boy though? Surely.
I used to play number 8. I played for.
What does that mean when you say number 8?
Number 8, back in the scrum.
Oh right, okay.
Picked up, so I was in the line out. So
Okay.
was good.
I played rugby once at school. Got to try, but that's
basketball was obviously more.
Oh yeah.
Into it. Yeah, so I played for a little while, but I tore my ligaments in my ankle, and my career was over.
How about wrestling? Thought about wrestling.
No.
Wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, they get some. Oh, I know it's broad wrestlers, but
No, tall. They're all tall.
Yeah, boxing as well. No, Mike Tyson, not Mike Tyson.
He's shorter than me.
He's really tall. Tyson Fury. It's still
Yeah. What's
Tyson
he?
Fury, 6'9". Yeah, same
He's
as me.
6'9", is he?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
same
I thought he was
I often get people say that to me. Oh, same height as, because I think if you looked at Mike Tyson and Peter Crouch next to each other, you'd think Peter Crouch was taller, but it's just because he's a bit more gangly. I think that makes him, like, when he's on the golf club, I always see the picture of him on the golf club, and he looks like he's like all bent up.
Yeah, I've seen Crouchy because I used to be Charlton's mascot, so I've seen him in the tunnel, and he is tall. He was tall. And I'll tell you what, though, you'll be surprised how tall they all are. I know they've all got like a half-inch of stud on as well.
Yeah.
But they're all tall. All footballers are really tall. Like Van Nistelrooy, I couldn't believe how tall he was.
I met Andy Carroll as well. He's quite a big bloke. I met him in a club in Newcastle once, bumped into him. I saw him as well. Yeah. But he's a big lad. Yeah, I think, especially the strikers up front, it's obviously aerial threat. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
So going back to you were at school, you decided to go into the nightclub. Did you actually want to do that?
No, so I finished school early and went to work at Tesco's, much to my dad's dismay.
So how old was you?
So I was 17.
Oh, that's not early. I left school 15.
Well, yeah, now you have to be there till you're 18. But I did a year of sixth form and just hated it.
Actually, I can't put an age on you.
I'm 31.
Right, okay.
Yeah, 31. So I did.
Bloody hell. My son's just turned 30.
Oh. so you could be his dad.
Yeah. How old are you?
50.
50?
50, yeah, not 15.
15, I was going to say, yeah. Yeah, my dad's 50.
That's my mental age.
55.
Your dad's 55, is he? Right.
So, yeah, it was, we did, I often get people think I'm older. I think it's done about height. People go, of course, especially kids. Kids are like, I used to work at a school occasionally, helping out, and they'd always assume that height meant. There you go.
Do you know what? Nah, you're sure.
That wasn't far off, actually.
No, it wasn't bad, but 3 seconds.
Do you know you stuck it up about 2 minutes before as well? I think.
I give it another push. I give it another push, didn't I? Don't start giving me the old adjudicator shit.
Yeah, so it was. Working in school, kids always used to think I was like a million years old. They'd be like, "How old do you think your nan is?" And they're like, "Oh, 70." I'm like, "So you think I'm older than your nan?" I'm like, yeah. Look at you, you're like 3 times the size of her. Like, and they're just so confident.
You're not a tree,
yeah, it's like a tree, yeah.
No related age.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I love it. You ask kids about how they judge their age on height.
Never even thought of that.
Because that's what they all do, don't they? They all sort of compare themselves all the time. I think that's why they do it. There you go. But I can't remember what I was talking about now.
Oh, you were working in Tesco's. You left school working in Tesco's.
Yeah, I worked in Tesco's. And my dad hated the fact that I went to Tesco's. He wanted to go to uni and do engineering. All my family are engineers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you wanted to go to Sainsbury's or something.
No, he's a real reality fan. No, we went to so I went to Tesco's and I was going out 3 times a week because I loved going out. I used to go out to some haunts in Maidstone, and I used to.
Do you know what, Maidstone used to be good though,
really
didn't it?
Good nightlife. Yeah,
Maidstone was amazing.
I used to work on there.
Yeah, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays.
Yeah, where was you stripping?
I wasn't stripping. Shut up. I used to work in Chicago Rocks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what was you doing?
No,
shot girl.
I was only the shot girl once. They pay you for tea and and then that was it.
Slap on her ass, take a shot. Yeah, literally stripping.
18-year-old me being like, "What? It's just putting this face."
Yeah.
We went to I went there all the time, and I used to do a theme night on a Thursday where it'd be like everything from phone parties to like geeks and nurses, and I used to dress up like an idiot all the time. There's a picture somewhere of me wearing an Ann Summers nurse's outfit as a 6'8" man, and I used to do it all the time.
6'8", so you hadn't got the extra inch yet.
No, because you haven't got shoes on.
So the kids, it was only like 80.
Yeah, I was a young whippersnapper. But we, and that was it. I did that for 3 weeks, and they basically were just like, "You're pretty fun. You should come work for us." So I was working full time. I had a pretty good job at Tesco at the time. I was working as like a manager of the phone shop. Enjoyed it, and then they were like, "Come work for us."
What Tesco's we're talking about? Larkfield?
Lunsford Park, yeah.
That's the one near Larkfield, yeah.
Yeah, I was in there for a while. And then, I went, worked for them. And it was called SOAP, stood for Students on a Piss Up.
All right.
And it was Thursday nights, and they basically started in Canterbury, moved out to Maidstone, and they did every sort of student town, and I helped with them grow it to be covering all different student unions all across the South East. So we went to like Reading, was in Canterbury all the time, but we used to do like sort of early stage marketing really, where like Nando's used to sponsor our nights and bring unlimited Nando's for other people to get people into Nando's in the local town, students into Nando's, and tell them it was there and give them free vouchers and stuff, and did stuff with Fibre Whiskey and all different
fancy Nando's now.
Yeah. Other brands are available.
Yeah. I fancy a chicken of medium heat.
Yes. There's lots of them around now. So, yeah. Wingo, they'll sound at the end of the night. Not the end of the night.
Yeah.
But we did that, and I loved it. And I went from there to a few different nightclubs, working different things. But events was sort of my first forte into marketing. And really, I think the nightclubs were way ahead of everybody else when it came to social media. It had to be, because they were trying to attract the young audience. So we were doing stuff way before the other guys that were available, and like businesses were really learning from us and doing stuff with us, which was really cool. So we were doing loads of social media stuff before it.
So what sort of year are we talking? Because Rachel's sister went to Reading.
Yeah, Reading.
She's probably puked up on you.
She's 30, isn't she? She's just turned 30. So
yeah. So what's that mean?
Oh yeah. Sorry, it would have been the same.
I was probably the same age as people that were there.
Yeah.
To be fair, So I'm so bad with that. It's 30 years ago, so 12 years ago, whatever that is, 2000.
What was she there? What she won there 12 years ago?
She might have been.
Oh my God! No, she couldn't.
No, because then she's done 2 other degrees since then, isn't she?
How is that? 12 years she's been there.
Yeah, but the first night she was there, obviously Freshers Week is amazing, isn't it? Freshers Week is like she had to get her stomach pumped from the hospital.
Nice. Ambulance turned up.
That's it. As you do it properly.
I was like, oh my god!
Welcome to university.
Yeah, it's literally like her first bit of freedom.
Yeah, enjoy it. That's what it's about. Yeah, most of it's about. Yeah, maybe don't enjoy that much, but have a good time. But so I did. That's it. Nightclubs were where it started, and then went to all different stuff in marketing related stuff. Working in agencies. I started my own agency with my current business partner. We were there for a while. I've done literally every job you can think of.
So the other agency, what was that aimed at? It wasn't just a builder's type thing?
No, so it was more generic. We were young. I was 24 when we started that. And to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. I just had done marketing and was just a bit too confident, probably, was the thing. And we started out, my business partner's much more techie than I am. And he was helping to deliver the stuff, and we were just charging out £150 to make someone a website, and we basically were just picking up all the guys that couldn't afford marketing and just helping them out, getting them online. We were sort of the good guys. That's what we was like. And then we sort of moved from there into social media management, and we did that for a while, helping out all different range of things, mainly in the hospitality sector. I'm more design led, and it's just a bit more fun generally. Now what I do is a lot less design led. It's more technical because it's more building. They're not particularly. It's not a thing they think about. Is that like how good things look? It's just get it done. It's really annoying for me because they all take so much pride in their work and making sure it looks amazing, and then. Don't have to sit there. Don't celebrate it. Yeah, so that's kind of, we're just trying to teach them how to do that a bit more, really. But we did that for a while. We merged up with another local agency. We were there for a little while, and then I went and ran a burger restaurant.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I've done, honestly, like, if you went through my life of how many jobs, I can reel some off. I was a manager of Trampoline Park for a little while. I've organised stag do's and hen do's in London. I was a hen specialist, in fact. I think I had a deep voice. I had a deep voice. It was all on the phone, and I had a deep voice. They were just like, you should sell to hens. So I did that. I had to go to Dream Boys as part of that as well. It was one of the most disgusting moments of my life. Never seen a penis be pumped before until that moment.
You've never seen a penis? Oh, do they do it before they go on?
Yeah, that's a little inside fact for you there. But
I thought it was the old elastic band around the shank.
Men aren't, maybe a bit of both. Men aren't allowed to go to Dream Boys. It's not a thing you're allowed to do. So we had to sit right at the back.
So you were like their bouncer sort of.
It was like exclusive right at the back, and we and I was like, do you know what, I can't actually watch it anymore. I've never seen more feral women in my life.
Yeah,
honestly,
they're mental, aren't they?
Yeah, no, you think men? Honestly,
they're mental.
Hey, I'm outnumbered here, so I can't stand up for all the women.
You've seen Dream Boys and stuff, haven't you? The women are off the hook, aren't they?
Yeah, they are nuts.
It's like their little bit of freedom and their little bit of a...
Some of them are really
the same.
Some of them are the back. They're like.
I bet you're. Actually, last time
some of them are like trying to stay away. The other ones are like trying to get on the stage, pull the flags off. Yeah,
last time you got done by a stripper, you were pregnant, weren't you?
No, let me put that in.
Mounted. That doesn't sound any better.
It was my cousin's Henry. This was what, nearly
it's our
15.
son's 8.
Yeah, no, it was Jim's. Because I was pregnant with Tilly, yeah.
Oh, it wasn't Ed?
No.
You sure it wasn't Ali's?
No, it was Jem's Hendu.
Oh, right, okay.
You said 3 different names there. You have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea. I don't even know her name.
It was my cousin's Hendu, like
number 2 I call her.
15 years ago. And we sat there and she went to, I think it was Victoria's in Mason. Is that right? It's Victoria's or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a hen thing. So there's loads of different tables of women.
Yep.
And then there was this sort of cabaret show.
Moo-moos?
No, it wasn't actually in Maidstone Town Centre. It was like near Leeds Castle sort of.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So they just were a venue for Hindu. So we went there and they had like this cabaret act and and then these stupid guys, like one was really like chubby and they wouldn't like her and they were doing this stupid thing and they were going around to all the girls and they started stripping off and then he came to our table and I was sitting way at the back and because obviously I was pregnant, I just sat like this so he couldn't see anything and he came up to me, started grinding in my face and everyone just went, no, she's 8 months pregnant. I stood up and went like that and he went, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was so embarrassed. He got up and he was like, I'm so sorry. And every now and then he kept going, you okay? I was like, I'm fine.
Her daughter's got a dent in her head.
Yeah, right. But that is the only time I've been say done by a stripper. Yeah. I've never seen Magic Mike or anything.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sorry.
But we do go a bit mad.
Because there's no blokes there, though. I was like, I'm going to the toilet. That's it. I can't do this anymore. I walked into the toilet, the men's toilet, because there's no blokes. That's where they get changed. I walked in, and they're all gone. They're all trying to cover themselves up, and they've all got their penis pumps on. And I was like, "What is?" I'm sorry. And they're like, "Yeah, I was doing." He's like, "You know what to do?" Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what to do. And I just left. I was in Newcastle. So sorry. I've
mentioned this story. I've mentioned this story 3 times on the podcast already, and I
don't know what one you're going to say.
But I'm going to do it again. Sorry, anyone that listens to every episode, which I doubt if there's anyone that exists that does that. Our friend is a DJ, right? And he does events. He does weddings mainly. That's how we met him. But he does events. And he was at this like Chippendale style event.
Yeah.
And he was in the green room, and it was quite a big room. And he said, I walked in the room. He said, I see a bloke in the corner playing with himself, right? And he's like, that's weird. He went, so I then noticed that he's got like male porno. So he said, I went over to him and said, I see you're looking at male porn, mate. He went, yeah. He said, that's what basically gets me off. And my mate went, it's strange, isn't it? I said, no stranger than a bloke entering a room, seeing a geezer masturbating in the corner and approaching him. And approaching him.
What are you reading?
Like, he can talk to anyone. My mate Raf can talk to anyone. But a bloke wanking, that is just the limit for me.
I was similar sort of thing to you guys from working in clubs. I know lots of DJs, and we had a guy who is an old boy. He'd been doing it for years, and he loved it. He was like the cheesy room guy, and I saw him recently. I was like, oh, I've been DJing at Spearmint Rhino.
Oh, right.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. And he was like, yeah, it's weird, isn't it, that you can become immune to tits.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a very strange. He's like, obviously, like when you're young, they're just like, oh wow, this is amazing. But like, he's just like, you see enough of him, and you're just like, oh,
100%, mate. You know, 100%.
I was like, what a weird scenario to be in. I don't know how he went from DJing in Maidstone to Spearmint Rhino.
But it's like, you know, I grew up looking at Page 3 every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
That's not a thing now, is it?
It's not a thing. But, you know, as a kid, as a youngster, Page 3 was enough. Now, blimey, I'm searching for half hour. She's got a dodgy toe. Now, next one. It's a nightmare.
But going back to
I shouldn't really talk about this on the podcast, but who cares?
Going back to like the whole clubbing industry, I don't think a lot of youngsters nowadays, it doesn't seem to be as big as it was when, you know, I don't know if it's just me because I was in the scene of clubbing and I used to go out clubbing, but nowadays it doesn't seem like a lot of people go out clubbing.
I actually think it's just the demise of drinking. I think drinking is not as like and also cost. I think is obviously a massive factor. But when we used to go out, we used to go on a Thursday night.
Lockdown, cost, and all that. It's ruined. You go into Maidstone on a Saturday night. It's sad.
We used to run the Thursday nights. There used to be 1,000 students on a Thursday in a club. But we were sometimes busy on the Saturdays.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, if you got there before 10 p.m, it was 50p for a vodka mixer.
Oh
Yeah.
So I used to take £10 with me, £5 to get me 10 drinks, which get me on my way, and then I'd get £5 to get the cab on with a few mates. And sometimes we'd make the stupid decision whether or not that £5 was going to go on a cab or a kebab.
Yeah.
And I'd have to walk 3 hours home. And because I lived in Halling, a little tiny village in Halling.
Oh my God! 3 hours home.
Yeah, I used to work in Tesco's at the time, so it was fine. And I'd be walking back. I had to go into Tesco's, go at the back, get my jacket on, because by the time the beer jacket had worn off, get my Tesco jacket and walk the rest of the way home.
That is mental.
Yeah, I did that a few times, too many times really, actually.
Obviously for you it's only like equivalent of us. It's like us walking 5 miles.
12 steps. Yeah, 12 steps for you, 25,000. Yeah. But it was stupid decisions always made, but a cracking time. And I think, you said, I think the difference in alcohol is not as like we used to we have pre-drinks at a friend's house, and we go from there to the bar, which is Muggleton's. Everyone went to Muggleton's for a drinks head, like 2 pitchers for like £6.
Yeah.
And then you'd go from there to the club and drink some more.
Yeah. What was that place down the side of Muggleton's? I don't know where it was, but there was a bar down there.
Bar.
Yes.
That's where I used to. Yeah. That's where I used to go every Thursday.
That was dodgy. That was sticky
Tuesday
floors.
nights. Yeah. Dubstep. That's when dubstep was cool as well. So we started inside was indie.
I like a bit of dubstep.
Yeah. Don't know why it went.
I don't know. There is something about dubstep. I agree with Deadpool. On that. Red Bull. Yeah. Love a bit of dubstep. I use dubstep on a lot of promotional videos because I think it comes out cool.
Yeah.
You do it at the gym. I can see him like, yes.
It's good for the gym dubstep.
Yeah.
But I think as well, a lot of people like, my age people used to try your luck and push your luck and try and get in when you were underage. But now they're so shit hot on ID. If you don't have ID, they will turn you away. So I think a lot of people don't even bother chancing it. They're like, you know what, we can stay at the uni halls or whatever it is. And
the only thing that's survived in towns of a night time is people over 35, 40 and live bands, because they can afford to still drink and go out, and you still live bands. You've got to have. You got to go. You got to go to see them.
Obviously, localising this massively now to make. But there was a place called Strawberry Moons, which was like
the place. I remember the original Strawberry Moons.
Yeah, really cool place, and it was
3 levels.
Generally, the older crowd went to Strawberry Moons.
Yes,
and it's now it's changed. Same people, it's changed hands. It's now Ovation, but it's still the only place that's busy, and it's because it's hitting that older market, the younger market. They're going to London. They're going to raves.
Yes,
so it's more. I think it's definitely more drug fueled now than it was when we were kids as well. So I think it's changed a little bit in terms of stuff, but I think that kills nightclubs because they make their money from selling booze.
Yeah, because Moons used to be the entrance to the shopping centre on the left.
Yeah, that was. Of course. Yeah,
I think it's still a bar, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a shoe shop now.
Oh, is it?
But it was Roadhouse after this. When I went, it was Roadhouse, and Strawberry Moons went to the other side of the road.
Yeah.
But it's a shoe shop.
I remember queuing up that road.
Shoe shop though. But not quite the same.
I play live music, but I've always thought of having a band that plays like clubbing music. But a live band playing clubbing music.
Have you seen the Chav Orchestra? Have you seen that?
The Chav Orchestra.
So they do. Look them up. They're wicked. They do like.
I think I have.
And they play like all the old like.
They're
all dressed in like full shell suit tracksuits, and they go down the thing doing their Chav Orchestra.
It works.
Really cool.
It's
really
very
cool.
similar because there was a band called, I think it's the Fake Band or something like that. So basically they come in and they're all dressed in white, a bit like Take That, but they are like orange. Oh, Fake Tan Band, that was it, and they are orange. And they get on this stuff and they are shit hot. They are so good at
we went to there's a little Irish bar now in Maidstone, and we went there the other day, and there was a fiddler going for it on the stage, and it was wicked. And you stand on the tables, it kind of felt a bit like how
beer
it used
keller
to.
Yeah,
a bit Irish.
And that annoys me, the beer keller, because they're not real musicians when they come out.
Oh no, yeah.
Being a musician, you know bullshit's going on.
These guys definitely were. These guys were properly good at the thing. I saw. Yeah, it's nice to see. We have a lot of live music in Maidstone still. There's a lot of pubs that still ride off the back of that.
Definitely. Druids,
Earls,
next door. What's it?
It's Market House.
Was Earls? Yeah, that's it.
Market House. And
I used to play there nearly every weekend.
Yeah, lots of good live music still available in Maidstone, which is good.
I'm a band. When was the last time you played?
When did I last play? My 50th. I ain't played since August. And that morning the gig is my own birthday. 10, you bastard. I'm not 12 foot.
Well, let's get on to your company.
Let's talk a bit more about
you.
Sorry.
And it's like, I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur type.
Great at round robin.
Mate, we always drift off. We never talk about people's businesses.
So what would you say is the core mission or statement of your business then? What is the underlying aspect of it?
So I think it's simple as getting more tenders for subcontractors, predominantly. So what a big part of getting, what it used to be when it comes to getting a big contract would come from going to the pub, rubbing shoulders, getting to know people.
It's the networking, right?
Networking, yeah, that's how they met them. And construction networking, if you've ever been to one, is so heavy on drinking. Like I went to one, I've drank more at networking events now than I do on normal night out. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and it'd be like 11 o'clock and they'd be like, oh, Guinness, it's like on the train on the way up to London. Like, what is happening? But yeah, they're really drink heavier, but that's when all the work is passed about. As soon as they've had a couple of drinks, that's when they get to know each other. It's all done on trust.
It is.
And that's how they get to know each other. But there's a lot of the time what we're sort of talking about is there's also a lot of people getting let down in the industry. So that could be a scaffolder, a plumber or electrician. If they're a main contractor and their guy has been let down by they haven't turned up to work or whatever, and they get let down for the third time and they think, oh fuck, Jesus Christ, not again. And then at that point they're the most susceptible to buying that they've ever been. So if they then go onto LinkedIn or they go onto thing and they see someone that does the exact same thing they do and they've been proven, they're showing their proven track record of how they do it, they're much more likely to give them a call and have that conversation. So our job is just to continuously put people in front of people so they're in the right place at the right time. And it's just a case of, and in this industry it's just a case of waiting for someone to mess it up so you can jump in and take
100%.
And then if you can deliver,
it's usually going into liquidation because builders are really good at going into liquidation.
It's because because
they're builders. They're not accountants, and they just don't get it, do they?
It's that, but they also do get the mick taken out of them by the main contractors, put them with like 90-day payment
That's
terms.
it. So
cash flow, like it's hard enough for me to run cash flow and for most people to run cash flow. If you're paying it with 90-day deficit,
100%.
And they say 90 days, but sometimes they'll just hold it.
Of course.
So even 30 days is tough, but the big boys they want your margin so low and your payment time so long that's why they fold. So if you constantly be able to be there and get in front of people, that works, and we do that for a variety of different ways.
The money those big firms must make by holding that for 90 days.
Absolutely,
that's why they do it.
That is the only reason why they do it.
You see, how many big boys have you seen folding in the last few years? Like, there's some real big names that are folding. So I think there's a lot of stuff that it's just about being there, and social media is the last thing that these guys are thinking about. So we just helping them with that, and we do a mixture of being quite passive, so through LinkedIn content and creating nice case studies and things similar, to very direct email marketing out to people. We have a database full of all of the projects that are happening in the southeast at the moment. So anything that goes onto a planning portal, we've got access to it. We can see it, and then we can email out to them and just say, we'd love the opportunity to tender for this. Can you give us the details? And most of them will have someone that does it already, but as I said, it would take this one person to mess it up, and then they're ready to have an opportunity to talk to someone else. And if you've been constantly in their inbox and providing good, useful information, they'll probably go to you. So
is it just the construction industry that you specialise in, or is there subcontract or
You've seen a hole in the market there, haven't you?
So we just genuinely, the reason that people are worried in construction, because my dad's worked in it for a long time, he had businesses in construction, but I never really that's not really my forte. The things I like is the people are really direct, they quite like a drink, and they're fun people generally. So if I'm working with, I've worked with some properly uptight.
Everything you do revolves around drink.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love a drink. But the restaurant owners we worked in the past, some of them are quite uptight and difficult to work with, and very cute, and especially like chefs. They're artists, and artists are. They have a very specific way of doing things, and if you try and change it, they won't. They don't like it. Whereas the construction guys are just like, look, I don't want to do this. Deal with it. And as long as we're doing them a good job, which we do, then we stay with them.
Because I think a lot of people think I can run my business, but you are not an accountant. You are not a social media expert. You are not. You know, you can do your job. Like, I know I can take a decent-ish photo, but all the rest of it, sometimes I think. All the rest of it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to learn that. I'm going to have to know how to do that.
And also, I'm a big fan of outsourcing. Like the second I could get rid of my zero, It went. I hate it. And the second I gave it went to the accountant. I was like, and I think quite often how it works is it's the books, and as soon as you get the books out, the second thing you look to outsource is your marketing, and that's why we sort of fit into
that. Then releases you, doesn't it, a little bit more? It lifts that weight off your shoulders, and you think, I'm actually that little bit freer to be able to concentrate more on what I like doing.
Work on the business, and not in it as well.
Absolutely.
It's a very common
and that's
saying,
the biggest step, isn't it? Starting to release your responsibilities to someone else.
Yeah, if you want to see growth, you got to let go and let someone else take over, and give them. We always say I wouldn't come in and tell them how to sort out the plumbing. Like if they're coming around, someone's fitting my boiler, I wouldn't come in and be like, I'm not really sure if that's in the right way. So don't do that to your marketing team, because the reason you're paying them is to do the right job and to do it right. So if you I'm all for hearing some information and some data and things you've got, but don't tell me to change stuff, because I think it's the same as I wouldn't tell you to do it, and they'd go home annoyed if I try and give them plumbing advice. Do
you accept ideas? Do you welcome ideas from clients? Absolutely. So if they say, actually, I've got an idea, this is what I want, but you can now have it.
Yeah. So there's different ends of that scale as always. Right. It depends how good the idea is.
Yeah.
and we'll be very honest and open with people about how good the idea is. If someone's got a great idea, we'll run with it, 100%. But
no, Colin, you can't piss on the bricks.
Yeah. We've had some of them, and they're like, "Oh, should we?" Yeah, I won't. Yeah, we've had some bad.
No, come on. I need to know.
But people will be in like scaffolders are a classic one. Obviously, they've got a reputation scaffolders, and it does work in some. And you see some TikToks and things that are great of people leaning into the stereotypes and making a joke of it.
Oh, but whistling at women.
But it's you've got to be lucky. That's really what it is.
Rachel's at the age where she hangs around building sites now, hoping
just to get a compliment.
But so that's what we're there to do, is just to guide and to move and make sure, and we're really open to being like, look, this isn't working, we need to change it and adapt it. And we always say that when we started up the agency, the main things that came across to us was lack of communication from digital marketing agencies was a huge thing. People just were like, I've paid this guy £1,000, I don't know what he does. So we're very open about what we're doing next week, what we're doing this week, sharing data, and then if we think something's not happening, we will tell you, as opposed to you having to be like, what's going on.
So do you suggest sorry to jump in, had you finished?
Yeah.
I'm really good at jumping in.
Yeah, same.
Do you suggest they use social media a lot and film bits or not?
So if they're doing it depends what they're
before and after project type thing.
If they're after domestic clients, then it's all about Facebook, localized groups, things like that. It works really well. If they're after bigger contracts, then it's all about LinkedIn. That's where the quantity surveyors are. That's where the contracts managers are. You have to be providing stuff there, and video is a huge part of that, and good photography. So showing off your team,
unlucky Rach.
Showing off their team what they do, and also like some lovely drawing footage or flying over the top of the project they've just completed. It just makes you stand out and look more professional. And you look at the big boys, that's what they do every day. And you want to be a big boy, right? So act like one.
So do you have to be like, especially on construction, you must have to keep up to date with trends that are going on, especially with the social media side of it, you must have to be shit hot on the old trends and what people are liking, what people aren't liking, and you have to obviously have some sort of creative bone in your body to think that could work, that couldn't work.
There's different ends of the scale as well. So what we're doing really is the sort of the nitty gritty, just regular content. That's a big part of science. So we're sort of there's lots of creative agencies that are doing really clever stuff that are pushing people into the sort of stratosphere, which is great, and that's not really where we sit. We're sort of below that. We're just consistently creating good content, which makes you stand out from your competitors, and that's a big part of what we're doing. So although there is a little bit of creativity to go and film stuff, and actually most of the stuff we have to learn is more around regulations.
Right. Okay.
Have you got your helmet on as you're walking through the door?
100%.
Have you got your helmet on as you're walking through the door? Have you got your high vis on?
The amount of builders that I've been on site to film builders and lent them the Cherrywood Productions PPE.
Yeah, and we have to go back to the amount of times I've gone back and the technical director of the company's been like,
can't use it.
Can't use
it.
Mate,
can't use that. And it's not even. And they're not even doing. It's just being seen to be doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So they're not actually on site. They're walking around outside the site or wherever.
But
because they haven't got. It can be perceive that they're on site, so then you have to, that's the sort of stuff. Because most of the guys, 99% of the guys we deal with are good at it and they look after their PPE. But there is a couple of, and it's just the whole video gone instantly because you've got one person in the background who hasn't got it. And sometimes it's not even their team.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. It's not even someone from their team, but they can be seen to be in their team.
Yes.
And they're in the background. That happens a lot because there's often multiple trades working on one
100%.
job at one time. So, that happens quite often as well.
I filmed a tower crane company once in London.
Yeah.
Panning around beautifully. They're raising the crane up even higher.
Yeah.
They're all latched on safely.
Yeah.
But I shot one at an angle and it didn't look like he had it on.
Yeah.
Couldn't use it.
Yeah.
Even though he had it on.
Yeah. But it looked, because it was hanging down on black trousers.
It was questioned. As soon as it's questioned, you got to go, can't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating.
I decided to move that. I'll never move that. I don't know why. Just don't want his big plates on it, I suppose.
Yeah, that'll be the end of it. The finale.
Okay.
So what makes stand out from the other companies out there that do this then? Sorry.
Classically. It's taller than them.
Literally.
So there are lots of companies that do it, and I think the thing for us is the personal touch. So lots of them are SaaS companies that are from America who are just outsourcing somewhere in Indonesia and doing the work, and they're not really in it for you, they're in it for them, and they'll get good results and it'll work. But if you're looking to get these bigger contracts, which is what we sort of specialize in, it's just it's a different book. If you're a domestic plumber and you're looking to get more boiler installations, there's loads of people out there who will do you some Facebook ads and sort it out. If you're a domestic plumber that's trying to move into the commercial world and get your first contract from a tier 2 contractor, that's what we step in. Yeah. And that's the difference. I think that's slightly different to what we do. All of our team are UK based. My business partner actually lives up north now. He's in Carlisle. So we have, but the team are most of them are Maidstone, a couple of guys up north, and that's it. And you always talk to us. And if we can't do something, we'll recommend you someone locally that can. That's a big thing. We don't do it. We're a digital marketing. We don't do all of it in house. It's too much.
So yours is more progression than constant work.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So we're taking guys to the next level. A big part of what we do, or turning them from like 1 million turnover to 10 million turnover. They're the sort of people we want to be looking for.
Has anyone ever told you to slow down a bit? We can't handle this. We're getting too.
Yeah. We've it's really tough to recruit at the moment in the construction industry for skilled labourers. It's a big issue. So if they grow quickly and they get we've had one client that got some a little intro to Bellway Homes, obviously a massive, and they're building like 200 houses, and to fulfil that they require a lot of staff, and they're all a little bit worried about subcontracting quite often, because often what happens is they'll subcontract, they'll get to know the person, take the work, so they want to hire in-house, but they just can't do it quick enough. They can't find especially like gas engineers is one that we're often dealing with, that struggle to find good gas engineers because it's such a long training process. They always say about getting apprentices, but that from apprentice to actually being qualified,
probably about 8 years. I think
a long old time. It's like same as a doctor.
You need to
doctors.
It's the same amount of time as a doctor, and it's which is a big part of if you're expanding, you can't fulfill. We have had to turn down some tenders because of things, but obviously having the foot in the door still, so when they can do it, they can go back and be like, we're ready now. That they've obviously shown an interest in the past, so they'll show an interest again. So that's where you get the opportunity to do it later, maybe.
Excellent.
So what's the most challenging part of your job then?
Getting people on site to send us stuff.
Right.
Like you will know this more than anyone. So sometimes we'll be like, if their site is in Carlisle or their site is somewhere else, and we'll be like, can you just take a photo of the outside of the site so we can put it on your social media? And they'll be like fingers over it and blurry screens. Someone without any PPE on, or like all that sort of stuff is actually getting them to generate content is very difficult. We have to do a lot of it.
I was going to say, do you just in the end just say?
Obviously, it adds cost if we have to send somebody up to every site.
Or just modify the photo, take the person out.
It's almost like AI removal and things like that. Now we make it a little bit easier, but it's still when there's fingers over it and stuff. It's always, in a sense, you guys take photos, so you'll know, but like just angles, like knowing angles and knowing and like getting the right bits in, and then not being someone's car parked in it with their registration at the front and all that sort of stuff. Like it's just trying to get good content out of people.
One of the most frustrating things about no matter what we do, there's a fucking fire hydrant in the way. You know what I mean?
And you can move it out, but then you're like, I've got to move it all back out. And that's the time-consuming bit. You've got to make, let's say you've got a show house and they want photos. You've got to make that look amazing, like really, really amazing. But then you have to go in and go, right, okay, we need to take that down, we need to do this. And that takes a good half hour just to set up the shot for one photo. And then you got to put it all back.
They think you're turning up with a camera that's going to do it all. You're just pushing a button.
Yeah.
It's all setting up. It's everything. Every job requires a foundation. Yes, I'm being really... And the foundations of ours is getting the shit out the way.
And people don't look at that. Well, they say, just take a photo. It's not just taking a photo. It's you have to go in and say, you don't want this in your photo, and I'm not going to spend 20 minutes editing out all the little bits that you forgot to remove, so I'm going to do that for you.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture between that and then the other one is actually just getting them to sign up.
Yeah.
Like to get them to understand the value.
Yeah.
Because it's we just go to networking events and we
Do you do like trial periods or anything?
Yeah, so we are at the moment we do we sort of get them on board. It's a pretty low entry to come on board with us, so we scale it is how we'd say. So we start them with one service and then move them into multiple, so they don't have that fear of massive outlay. But the problem we're having consistently is people go, social media dropshipper, and it's like, some of our
it's the future. It's the newspaper.
One of our guys, we've got a plumbing client, and they've since they've been working for 6 months, they've had about 200 grand's worth of work money in the bank, and then they've got about 450 grand out to tender, and there's a potential £8 million contract on the horizon, and you just think like. We're getting good results for people, and it's like business changing results.
Yeah.
So and for the price that we're charging, I don't think it's that bad. I think people just give it a go; they'll get some. But the big thing is it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
Nah.
So it's not just like you signed
subliminal,
up.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Great, you signed up. Here's month one, you're going to get a massive contract. We normally sometimes you get lucky. Like we've got an external cleaning company, and they in their first week of sending out some emails, they landed a 20 grand cleaning job at a thing around the corner, and potentially they'll do a good job there. They've got 8 other sites, so they'll get to clean all the other ones. That's 160 grand job off of one email.
Yeah.
So it does sometimes happen quick, and that's great. It's a lot easier for us to justify it, but sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months to just because you've got to hit the right person at the right time, and especially external cleaning is a perfect example of that.
It's fishing, mate. That's basically what it is.
Exactly. If you're an external cleaning company, you have to wait for someone to have a dirty building.
Yes, absolutely.
Same with roof and repairs. You have to have someone like after a storm is a perfect time.
Yeah.
That's when
saying that, right? I took some fencing down. In the summer?
Yeah, 6 months
and
ago.
it's been leaning up against our wall of our house for ages. And I was laying in bed the other day. I was like, "Oh, that's windy." I was going to burn that fence, put it on a Facebook marketplace. Right, it went in seconds, and I was gutted. I should have charged far more than what I charged for it. But it's all about.
It was in someone else's garden.
It's all about picking the right time.
Yeah.
And this geezer, right, which annoyed me even more, but he was a nice guy. He's not even got a damaged fence. He just said it looks that good. He's going to do it up and use it in his new house. Anyway, sorry, but it's all about time. It's all about timing and the right place, the right time.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that. External cleaners. If your building's not dirty, you're not thinking about it. You're not thinking about it. It's not even that you're not looking. You're not thinking about it. So it needs to be the right time. And the email I got back from the client was. Oh, funny you should say that. You've come through just at the right time. We need this done. Could you come and quote it? As simple as that. And it's literally just completely explained what we're trying to say. That it just was lucky that they come through. They talked to a few other guys that have got jet washers, and they just couldn't handle the breadth. It's like 300 windows, massive building. They couldn't handle it, so they had a few people out, and they were like, "Look, can you come look at it?" These are the guys that clean Piccadilly Circus, so they like proper outfit, do a lot of stuff, and they were like went over and priced it. Like, yeah, we can do that, and that's it. Got a job.
Wow.
So it does, and they've paid for us now for the next 10 months. They can work with them for us without having anything, without getting other jobs, and they still
that's it. Yeah.
That's how so everything they get on top of this now is a bonus, and that's kind of how it works. And if we get them a couple more big contracts, then they're away laughing.
Yeah.
So we're a slightly different way of doing what other digital marketers do.
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff is just being there, but we actually do a proactive reaching out to people as well at the same time, adding them on LinkedIn if they're contract managers, making sure they're seeing their content is a big part of what we do. So we do that for
because LinkedIn is becoming. It's
like a professional Facebook, really, isn't it now?
Facebook now, yeah. It is a lot of.
Never used to be like that, did it?
Really, I actually am all for it. I hate it when people go to me, this shouldn't be on here, this is Facebook. I'm like, all right, don't really care to me, they don't like it. But I feel like people actually, it's such an old saying, and it sounds so corny, but people buy from people, and actually, it's such an important part of it, and especially in the construction world, they're buying off people they like. So if you're talking about football, you're talking about rugby, you're talking about whatever that might be, and they've got a connection with you because they also like football and rugby. When you go and have a meeting with them, and they go, "Oh, you're a Spurs fan as well? Yeah. You've instantly got a way in. That's it. You've got a way in, a conversation that you can have, which is super important.
Yeah. Because that's how most of our work turns up, is through connections, right? It's through the connections at wedding fairs and stuff like that. You know, you get the odd person on Facebook that has seen your work and you go, oh, can we book you? But 9 times out of 10, it's the connections that we make face to face with people at wedding fairs that they go, actually, we like you, we're buying you as well as your brand. That sort of thing. So
it's a really important. People buy people is like the best thing I would say in terms of networking, but so much more as well.
And there's nothing can beat a good face-to-face chat. I know it's all this online, you know, we're saving money, but if you actually go and meet someone and have a chat with someone, that is the best way of connecting and networking.
So our whole thing is just getting that opportunity. That's what we're all about. It's just trying to get them in front of the person. And we always say as well, we can't get them the tender. We can't write the tender. But we give them the opportunity, and as long as they're good at what they do,
put them in front of the right people.
Exactly right. And some they'll lose, some they'll win. That's how tendering works. So people will appreciate that. But having more opportunity to tender, it's just throw enough shit at the wall, right?
Of course.
So that's it. And it's just part of that's getting lucky, and we just help generate luck.
Do you look at what they're sending in for tendering or not? Do you not get involved?
So I'm not technical enough is the answer.
Right.
So if they're a lot of the tendering process is quite technical, so they'll send them out all the drawings. They have to then put together all the bits and then send it back an offer with all the pricing and stuff. And we just can't do that in-house yet. I think it's something we'd love to add to the system. We'd love to be able to have someone who writes tenders in-house, and that's the sort of end goal, and then we just do the whole process. Because then it's much more sellable for someone who's looking to buy.
Especially for construction.
Because hiring a tender writer is expensive. They're like, you're looking for a technical plumbing one, you're looking at 110 grand a year salary. So like for a small plumbing firm who's got 15 to 20 people, it's a big. Most of their guys are on 45 grand, and you've got to get someone in the office whose sole job is just to do it, and he's getting paid 2.5 times as much as them. It's just trying to work it out and how they can. Because it is an important part of what they do, but if we can offer that as a service where they can just use it as they need as opposed to having some, because they might have a point where they don't get any tenders.
Because surely it's mainly templates, isn't it? It's got a bit of structure to it, and you've got to alter it, but there's a template to it.
I suppose it all depends on the company.
The problem is as well is the breadth of what a lot of these guys do is quite high. So like if you for instance take an electrician, it might be they're doing the rewiring of a house, but then next week they're doing a swimming pool, and they've got to put all of the electric showers in. And so the variation in terms of what they're actually doing.
It's all the method statement and risk assessment with it as well.
Exactly. I guess that's starting to get to become templated, because you'll have bits that will always go out, and a big part of it now is how green you are. That's a big part of it.
That's true.
So just council tenders, they say up to 10% of a council tender now is through your ability to do something in the local environment or the local area and being green. So that's why now, for instance, if you have a big housing development coming up, you have to build a school, you have to build a doctor's thing. It's because that's part of their local community part. And even things like we do a lot of stuff for the Heart Kent Hospice, local hospice charity, and they'll have a thing now where you can go as part, you get points. It's ESG, it's called. You get points, and you can go and. If you're a groundworks company, you can go and fit a drop curb for Heart Kent Hospice, and that will help towards your ESG, and you just don't charge them. So you've helped out a local charity, and that gives you points towards your ESG, which helps in then going to talk to people. Nice. So there's a lot of stuff. I think it's really positive. I think that should be how it should be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be you have to go and help your local football club build a whatever that is. And I think community is lacking much more after COVID, but in general, where community is on its downwards spiral. And I think doing that sort of stuff is what helps bring it back up.
Of course,
And sport and community libraries and that sort of stuff is what brings people together, and we need more of it. Simple as that. And then the government, to be fair to them, that's quite a nice way of doing it. I'm sure it's probably not as green and as useful as it sounds, but
it saves them a bit of money, mate.
Yeah. It's a start, so we'll see how it goes, but it's a big part. It's a big part of it.
Are there any misconceptions in the digital marketing world that you would like to tell people not to listen to?
Rachel, where did you find that one?
I'm not even looking at my notes now.
You're joking. You are off the hook.
So I think there's a lot of it's around the cost. I think that's a big part of it. So people are like, you're just writing statuses, or you're just doing this, or I think.
Well, then do it yourself.
Yeah.
If it's that easy, do it yourself.
A lot of it's actually just saving you time.
Yes.
It's a big part of it, because you could do it. 100%. You could learn to do it. Same as I could hang my shelf. I just pay someone to come do it because they'll do a better job. It's exactly that. So I think it's painters are the perfect example. I painted my room recently at home, and it's shocking. It's shocking. And I'm tall as well, so I shouldn't have any excuse about the top. Cutting the tops in, but I can't do it. And it just made me think, I was just like, actually, this is exactly, I've done it, and there's a job been done, but it's, if you look closely, there's some cracks.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly the same with social media. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. And there's loads of tools that are great, like Canva and things for making the bits that get you started, but there's levels to marketing. And you can do the first level, get your Wix website, get your stuff sorted out, absolutely perfect starting point, and you can then grow and adapt and move. And as you're becoming a bigger company, your marketing needs to follow that.
Absolutely.
And I think the biggest misconception is that it's just like,
I can do it.
I can do it myself. Or we can hire. The worst one is we can hire an intern that will do that. They'll hire an intern and that's that. And I've worked with solicitors in the past, and they'll have an intern that does the marketing, and it's like they're a solicitor intern. They're not a marketing intern, a solicitor intern, and they've been given them up just because they're young and they understand they've got a TikTok following. So it's like, it's just you give your accountancy work out to an accountant, give your marketing work out to a marketer. I think that's a similar thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
I appreciate it costs money, but if you want to grow, you have to invest. That's how it is. And I think there's levels. So you can always absolutely start on your own and get to a point. If you're a one-man band plumber, do it yourself. Get a 16-year-old nephew to do it, or whatever that might be. Get it done. Have some consistency on there. And when you get to a point where you can afford to then start doing some more, do some more.
Because I think if you get to that point, and your marketing isn't as good as you are, that can massively hold you back, right?
Yeah.
That can hold the company back and not give you the opportunities that you deserve.
It's a very quick way of making this, because I always say I've seen some massive construction companies that've got the worst websites, and I go on, my perfect example actually is if I see a van that's got at gmail.com thingy, I instantaneously don't think they're professional, so I wouldn't use them. I can't. It costs £5 a month to get your own domain name as a thingy for Google.
Also the number, innit? The mobile number.
Yeah, have a landline. I always say to you when you're starting, it's all about faking it to making it. It's definitely have a 0162 number that forwards to your mobile number. That's fine if you're based there, obviously. And have an email address that's your company name, and then have a registered business address. So go to your accountant, go to a local business centre and register it there. You look like you've got an office. You look like you've got a professional business, and your website's good. If they look at you, you're probably professional. Even if you're a one-man band, you can quite easily look like you're a much bigger company by just having the right stuff there. And there's so many times where I've been like, oh, I'm not sure I want to use that painter, because it just looks quite clearly like it's a one-man band. If I'm trying to find a bigger company, that's not what I want. And it just gives that one-man band vibe straight off the bat. I think that's the difference in terms of what's available there for marketing now. It's not actually that expensive to do it and to stand out and to be bigger. You just got to do it. Just got to jump in. Yeah, I think it's a pretty quick way of just making you look more professional. And also you can charge more. At that point, you can charge more because you look like a bigger company. You look like more professional. People will be willing to pay you more money because they think you're going to get a better job done. The other one I always see as well that is when people name themselves like Charlie Man plumbers. I'm like, well, that's obviously one bloke. That's obviously one bloke. It couldn't be any more obvious that was one bloke. So I'm like, how would you grow that?
You get away with it as a photographer because it's more of an artist thing. Right. But we don't. We don't do it like we don't say Rachel Burridge photography, do we? We just stay up on the Cherrywood production.
But it instantaneously makes you look like a slightly bigger company, even if you aren't. Yeah, and also what it gives you as well is you don't have to turn up. That sounds silly. You don't have to turn up,
and that's what we've said to people.
Because if you're like, oh, I'm ill.
Exactly. Well, that's
you can send somebody else, and they can represent you.
Oh my God! We're 99.9% of the time it'll be us, but in our contracts, it's got to. People get ill,
Yeah, it's a thing. It has, and someone's wedding doesn't stop because you're ill.
No, exactly.
So it's got to go ahead still, and you've got to send someone.
We usually rock up ourselves.
I ordered Charlie Man photography.
And
someone else has turned up.
Absolutely.
Just here.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it.
We've got a list of people we trust.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And you wish you would have met through networking and getting to know them. That's how it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just waiting for and that's what we're talking about. It's all it takes is then someone to recommend in, and then they get a job in there, and then they do a really good job. And actually, you might offer them some more stuff.
I sometimes hope she's ill because then we get better photographers turn up. And I actually do this to her while we're shooting a wedding.
Oh yeah,
I do it to the
he
couple.
does, like, to the bride and groom. He's like, oh, she's shit.
It's her first day. She's doing all right, isn't she? Do that all the time.
Great, thanks.
But they love it though, don't they? They get, that's what it's all about with us two. They get relaxed.
Yeah.
Make a wish.
Just put a hat on.
Hang out all day.
Where do you see, in the future, like the technology and the AI, where do you see your company going down that route then? Because obviously everyone is talking AI now.
Yeah, so we already use a bit of AI already. It's definitely not a position where it can take over. You guys will see it as well in your editing and things. There's some really great tools that will save a lot of time.
She still won't use any of it.
But they won't.
Some of them are really shit as well.
I've seen loads of six-fingered people. And stuff like that. Can't do hands, can't do faces. That's like a thing. So as a photographer, not great. But there are lots of things that help us save a lot of time and be much more efficient in what we do. And we definitely use AI, and we will continue to use it. It's great for idea generation. It's great for being technical. We can't be technical. We are not a gas engineer, but it gives us the background knowledge to get at least the basis of a post created in which we can then go to the actual professional.
I'm laughing because they're digging the road up. Sorry.
That's all right.
Just so everyone knows, we are going to be moving soon. We've got another studio we're going to be going to, but in the new year.
So
and there won't be roadworks there.
Higher ceilings.
There won't be. No, it's probably lower ceilings. And there won't be roadworks. There won't be police cars going past.
Oh, we hope not.
If they are, it's to arrest us.
They're coming to you, yeah. Not going past anymore. They're coming straight to the house.
Straight to us. Anyway, so I have a question. So you're mainly construction. So if someone turns up with a flower shop or something like that, will you still take them on?
We'll help them, yeah. So we actually have two companies. I don't talk about it very often, but we have Build Agency, which is what we do construction. We have the Orbit Agency, which is basically, we have the Orbit Agency.
Orbit, right,
which
okay.
We actually set up because we had an entity before, and we still have quite a few legacy clients that we had from when we were with them. So we service a few guys from that, and if we have someone come through that is exciting and interesting, we'll take them on still.
Of course,
we do also have a bank of great digital marketers that we would pass people to if we thought they would be better suited to it.
Right.
But yeah, we mainly focus on construction. We do have a few fun ones that
There's a couple out there you can try and... straight out there after this podcast with a card.
Yeah. Do you want to... so we will still pick people up. It's just we'd rather them be serviced by someone that can service them correctly. So if we've done a lot of e-commerce in the past, so we do have a few e-commerce clients. But yeah, that's through Orbit, which is looked after by one of the girls in the company.
Excellent. Right, so how do they find you? Give us your details.
So with the Build, it's the build.agency on the internet. You can type that in. It'll come
The
up.
build.agency.
Build.agency is our URL. And you can the best thing to do is find me on LinkedIn. I'm Karl with a K, and Cal like Simon, C-O-W.
Cash cow.
It's a bit of a tongue twister, yeah. Find me on LinkedIn and follow me, please do, that'd be great. And then you'll see all the stuff we do. We post a lot of stuff on there consistently as well.
Now, what we do with our guests, we give them a song. We have a playlist, and you can choose any song you want. It could be your first dance, it could be the clubbing song.
That's very obnoxious, eh?
Yeah, 10 years. She's trying.
That's weird.
11
I must admit, I did assume you were married because before we come on here, you just said, you got a kid and all that. It's a bit. I'm very old-fashioned.
Is that not enough commitment? I've got a mortgage and a kid. Surely I'm committed enough.
All 12 of my kids are probably born before marriage, but for some reason I've gone all old-fashioned on you.
You're not married.
Okay. Do you need a photographer? You can keep
we know a good one. Not me.
Who is it? Well, I think the question was now a song. What song I like?
Yeah.
Can I have Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus?
I love playing that song.
I actually saw a
I always
saw a
have to
video
sing the
I've got to.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So apparently there's women in the band, and I love the fact that he was just like,
No, he sings it.
He says, no.
He sings.
I'm doing this bit.
But you don't realise that until you watch it live.
We saw them at British Summertime in Hyde Park, and they did a thing as well where they play the first couple of bits so you know it's coming, and they go, well, we're not going to play that because you're all going to piss off. So they play the whole rest of their album, and then they play it, so everyone stays and listens to it.
Yeah.
Actually, their album music's really good. They're only known for their one song.
They are really, yeah. We use it all the time. We always get someone up, usually. Try and talk someone in, but if they don't come up, I squeeze my nuts and do that bit. Because I don't have to play bass. I don't have to play bass for that bit. I just
your main singer is a girl, so but she doesn't.
Yeah, well, she does the main singing, and I do the. I've got tickets to Iron Maiden bit.
Yes, we'll add that to your playlist.
Okay, that's wicked choice. Yeah. Thank you. Lovely to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Sorry you're poorly.
Sorry that you've got so much abuse for no reason.
Oh, I abuse all the time, mate. And not in a good way.
Off podcast, I go, I'm so sorry if I've
get out of it. Anyway, thanks everyone.
I heard him.
Thanks everyone. That's it. I was going to say Happy New Year, but it's past.
Like and subscribe. Ring the bell.
Thank you. So he helps me out with things. He even told me to start coming up with a sticker where I've just been on the Cherrywood podcast sticker.
We can get one of those now.
No, I give people a logo now. If they've been on, he's going to get a logo. He's going to be like, this is my idea. Just spin that. Yeah. Delete.
Yeah. Straight in the spam folder.
But yeah, like, subscribe, ring that
that's what you should have on there.
No, I can't for copyright. Is it right? I ain't paying for nothing.
On the playlist.
What, our choice?
Yeah.
Ain't we got one?
I don't know.
God, we're boring people. Right, let's go. Thanks very much. See you all soon. Club Awesome, for autistic children and their families, a place where everyone belongs and fun knows no age limit.